Joining us tonight, business advisor, best-selling author Carol Roth, James Freeman, assistant editor at the Wall Street Journal, and Fox Business contributor. Good to have you both with us. Let's start with first the warning to Germany by this administration that if they proceed with Huawei and their 5G network, there will be consequences in the relationship. What do you think, Carol?
I think it's kind of funny because we're pushing free markets, but at the same time, we're sort of strong-arming them with our allies. But I think you have to do it. China is known to be a bunch of bad actors, and until they prove themselves, I think we need to have that alliance.
I thought you were going to say Germany is a bunch of bad actors.
Well, you know, perhaps that's fair as well. I would have loved to see them take this approach on the IP side. So not just the cybersecurity, but I'd like to see that same kind of alliance on the IP side. China's filing all of these patents. They're trying to be a world leader. So why not say we're going to go together with Germany and some of our other allies and say we're not going to enforce your IP unless you're willing to do it. So I like the idea of getting together with our allies and putting some pressure on them.
James, what do you think?
Well, I think if you want to get Huawei out of that business with our allies, you have to put a lot of pressure on because they are offering a very cheap solution. And I think it's tempting, especially to a country like Germany that has not built out its broadband internet networks the way we have. It's a quick way, a cheap way to get a very high-tech network in place.
And a bunch of viruses, too.
It's interesting. There are two countries involved now in this, Germany and China. China is carrying out a mercantilist trading philosophy that is without question putting the United States in a position, if they had their way, of being a future colony of China. They're demanding that they will do something nice for us. They'll take our agrarian products, as many as they possibly can use. Germany has been carrying out a mercantilist trading policy for decades now, and we have suffered through it. It is really an interesting position. The president is the first president to point out that we were absolutely squandering wealth and opportunity and economic growth as a result of those two trading partners. And it's stunning that he still has to lecture people about the problem.
Well, I think because it's so difficult to do. I think everybody in this country is looking for an easy solution. If you look at a country like China, this is a fun...
Who are these snowflakes you're talking about?
Apparently everybody, Lou. Apparently everybody is a snowflake. And this is a remarkable stand. If he can get just a fraction of what he's trying to get done, this will be historical because it will change the way that China is doing business in the world.
And by the way, if he doesn't get it done, it'll be historic in another way, James. The United States as we know it won't exist. Will it?
Well, I would put Germany and China into very different categories, but with the China negotiation...
Look at their trade surpluses and see if you still would do that.
Well, look, it's the difference between a free country, a free economy, and a dictatorship running a controlled economy. And that's why that dictatorship in Beijing is going to be very difficult to get a deal with. I think if they don't...
I'm loving this. The Wall Street Journal is acknowledging that China is a communist state. Is that a correct...
100% true.
Excellent.
And I think... what our approach should be is if Xi Jinping is afraid to sit down with the president because he's not sure what the outcome of their discussion is going to be, if he doesn't want to do a trade deal, I think we should be recruiting the entrepreneurs of China who are tired of living under communist control to come invent things here in the United States.
Do you think you'll have to negotiate that a little bit with Xi Jinping?
That part I don't think we're negotiating with them. We're speaking
I love
to
that
people.
your first resort was to immigration rather than putting Americans into about 20% of the seats in some of our best universities in the country that are now held by foreign nationals. Well, I think it would be a lovely way to build, if you will, intellectual capital and innovation.
As you know, the president has been talking about our need for high-tech talent and the opportunity and this economy
before you remind
demanding
me
more workers. So I know you're supportive of his position on this, as I am.
I am supportive of this country right now getting to balanced and reciprocal trade ASAP. Carol, thank you. James, thank you.
Thanks, Luke.